Okay, well, that last episode was something special, but this one will be a little bit more of a calmer episode. Week 6 of CAA Today here for you, covering or recapping Week 6, previewing Week 7. First up on the list, we had Duquesne taking on Delaware, and Delaware won this one in overtime. Final score was 41-37. Duquesne got the ball first in overtime. Scored a field goal, and then Delaware came back, scored a touchdown, and that is how that game ended. Pretty back and forth between Val and the Delaware coach as they got through things. Next up, we had Towson taking on William and Mary, and probably the biggest upset of the week in all of fake college football is William and Mary takes down Towson in the fourth quarter, coming back from a 10-7 deficit. They scored 16 points in the fourth quarter, beat Towson by 6. Final score was 23-17. Next up, probably the craziest game of the week, we had Villanova taking on James Madison. James Madison led big at the start of the fourth quarter, but Villanova able to recover from a 14-point deficit, and this final run of plays is just absolutely insane. I mean, you got Edge scoring a touchdown, and then onsiding it, and then from there, scoring a touchdown, and then kicking it off. At that point, the game was tied. First play is an incomplete pass, a pass for 9 yards from James Madison after the kickoff, and then it's intercepted by Villanova, and then the next play, Villanova goes yard with 3 seconds left in the game. Villanova wins it, 38-31, the final score in that one. James Madison drops to 3-3, effectively ending all hopes of winning the CAA. Youngstown State and Richmond, also another big upset there. Youngstown State faltering to Richmond as SDQ gets his big win against the number 11 ranked Youngstown State Penguins. Final score in that game was 33-11. Closer game in the next one here, Morgan State taking on VMI. Morgan State with a field goal in the fourth quarter to win it. Final score 24-21. And then finally, the final game of 6 here, we got Robert Morris taking on Delaware State. Delaware State won by a single point off a last-second PAT before the deadline, and that's how that game ended. So that's all of Week 6 for you. Moving on to Week 7. We've got a nice little preview going on here. First game on the dock is going to be Delaware State taking on VMI, and I think Delaware State's going to recover. They had a slow game against Robert Morris, but I think this one, they bounce back. I think they get the win here. High scoring, obviously. It's Delaware, and it's VMI's last game. So I'm going to go Delaware big here. I'm saying 56-49. I think it'll be up there in the points. Next up, Towson taking on Morgan State. Towson trying to recover from that loss they had as a number 1 team to William and Mary. I think Towson gets the job done here against Morgan State. I think they win 28-14, we'll say. Next up, James Madison also trying to recover from a loss. I think I do. I think me and Canner can come back and win this one against Richmond. I'll say 24-19-ish, 24-20, something like that. Robert Morris taking on Villanova. Villanova barely escaped James Madison with a win, but I think they win comfortably here. Final score, I'll say, for Villanova would be 35-21. I don't see Robert Morris putting up much of a fight against them as they try to claw their way back to relevancy. Next game, Youngstown State taking on Duquesne, and Duquesne's been up and down, and I think Youngstown State wins this one. Youngstown State also trying to recover from a loss, so give me the Penguins. Give me the Penguins big. I'll say 45-21. I think this is going to be a down game for Duquesne. And then finally, we've got Delaware taking on William & Mary. I'm going to take Delaware in this one. I think William & Mary got a lucky win against Towson. I think they're going to try to ride the momentum, but it won't work. I think Delaware's got a pretty stout defense there. So I'm going to say final score 14. William & Mary 14. Delaware, I'm going to say scores like 24-ish and wins that one. No listener questions because it's just me talking. A nice little 5-minute episode of CAA Today for you here as we get through the weeks. Peace out and subscribe, please. We need the money.